my Monday and the day that we usually review messages, Daniel, and looking in there was a whole lot missing. And what
Yep.
happened? Like, you logged a ticket.
I did. I logged a ticket, and it seems that some code changes in the message center caused the messages to go missing
Mm-hmm.
somehow. So they rolled those back, which was wonderful. Thank you to the team, the message center team, for making that happen because, well, it was needed.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. Yeah, so, I mean, usually throughout the week, Daniel and I will look at messages, we'll favorite some that we want to talk about. We'll get together on Monday and we'll sort of, well, my Monday, his Sunday, and finalize what we want to do. That's why you see our episodes being created at that time. And it did throw me into a bit of a panic thinking, okay, all these messages that are missing, even ones that, we'd favorited and read, were gone. And it felt like the team had done some big archive, and all sorts of thinking was going through my mind. Daniel, I was thinking, is it that the product groups, individual product groups, have chosen to remove old messages and leave us with just the current? Um, yeah, but did you kind of get to the bottom of what it was?
not the specific code change. I do
Hmm.
not know specifically what it is yet. May find out, but there are some changes that are coming up to the message center for us and for all those wonderful admins out there and those change agents. So that those things are coming, and maybe that's what it was. Maybe some prep for that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just hypothesizing here,
Yeah.
but it was nice to be able to reach out to the team and on a Sunday be able to say, hey, can you help please?
I think the fun part was that it was as if our little investigation created our very own entry within the service center.
Yeah.
Because you when you'd logged the ticket, you said the problem was in New Zealand and the US, and then we called out Phil
In
Worrell,
Europe.
who, Phil, are
Yep.
you on the call? Raise your hand. uh, yeah,
Yeah.
there's no raising
And
hands.
and he and so yeah, I put that in there, and then so in the ticket it was talking about Europe and also and New
Mm.
Zealand and the States. So anyway, I mean, there was several people that chimed in and said, "Hey, yes, this is a problem," and then it got fixed. And I mean, it got fixed pretty quickly. So
Yeah, it
I'm
did.
excited. Yeah,
It's almost as if they knew what code to
kudos.
roll back.
Yeah, yeah.
When it was restored, messages were all marked as unread. Favorite states were lost. So we've had that fun.
Yeah, that was a little fun, but it's okay.
Mm,
Things change. We get it.
that's right. Well, we're at time. Let's rock on with it. What was that, Dan? We did like
I,
a slow-mo of something.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. I think you were mimicking the intro, but it was like, come on, let's do that. High five. You gonna leave me hanging?
Yep, I am. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode. What are we at? 233. It's good to be back. We did take a vacation week off. Thank you for allowing us to do that. We didn't have too many complaints. We do have a complaint department. You can email us at circlebin at trash bin. Anyway,
Oh, circle bin. Right.
just kidding. No, it was good to have some time off there, but we are back, and we've got some great announcements this week. And
Every week, really. Every week.
well, every week, but this one I am definitely excited about a couple of these, and one of which will be the first one we'll tackle. But first off, of course, Darrell, we need to remind people to follow us on socials, right?
Yeah, yeah, and I need to make a jingle for this where it's like, which body part is Daniel going to choose?
Whoa, hey now.
Oh, wait, hang on.
Hey.
What I mean is, how is
Hold
Daniel
on.
going to ring the bell?
I still don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
So make sure you're following us on socials. We are 365 MCS on all of the social platforms. Make sure you also like this video, whether you're on YouTube or you're in LinkedIn, or this audio. Make sure you give it a like and share it off to socials. We love seeing when people share that and tag us on the social at 365 MCS so we can see that. We'd love to give you a kudos for that. And of course, in YouTube, make sure you click the bell so you get reminders of when we go live. And today we're going to use the whiskers on our chinny chin chin. And if you don't have any, you can pretend. That's what we're going to use to click that bell button there.
What are you going to do when you run out of ways of ringing the bell? I guess there
We're
will
just going to
always be-
reuse.
We're going to blow it. We're going to flick it. We're going to...
So moving right along,
Yes.
thank you everyone for making sure that you follow us on social. So let's dive in. Do we need to cover anything else before we dive in?
No.
Okay. So first off, we have updated, and it was announced and then updated for us, so we can cover that, right? Updated. Create and manage Power Apps from Microsoft Lists within Microsoft Teams, MC340285. And this is rolling out late March. This is the change. Previously they said mid-March, but it's going to be late March through to early April. And basically in Microsoft Teams, when you're looking at a Microsoft list, you will be able to create a Power App for that list directly in Teams. So you'll be able to click that. It's going to use a prescribed template for that app for you. Of course, you can then go and edit that app if you want to later, but it's going to allow you to create that by following the instructions that are in the message. I looked and could not find any good screenshots or anything here about how
I've
this
got
will
that.
work.
I've got you covered there, Daniel, because I used it for a thumbnail.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
There
let me bring it
is
up.
some instructions on when you go to the additional information, but it's not specific to this one. It's talking about
Right.
creating an app via the Power App
Yeah.
in Teams.
So yeah, it covers that, because I don't do this often, if ever. But if we cruise on down to create an app while inside Teams, that's about all I could find in terms of screenshots and what things look
Right.
like. Funny, hey, like that. They must be using some sensitive environment to have to feel like they need to blur these out. I would have thought they'd use some
a
demo,
demo
environment.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
So just, I think you have to be aware here, of course, this is creating a Power App. This is making sure that people are licensed appropriately here. Let's make sure that they are informed on what they're going to get when they click that button. There's other ways of customizing SharePoint list, Microsoft lists, those forms. If you're wanting to just simply hide things or group those fields together, then you can do that easily with JSON. You don't have to use a Power App to do those kind of things, but this could be something that's very powerful and does exactly what you need. And
cool.
do you know what I need, Darrell? I need every one of my meetings to be an online meeting.
Right. Return of the emo, it would seem. Acronyms are always fun, and I hadn't heard of this one. Every meeting online, EMO. Okay, every meeting online by default. Support for third-party online meeting providers. This is MC340779. This caused a bit of a stir, but while we know Microsoft has certainly opened up and is cooperating a lot more with all sorts of platforms, it's all across all devices. It's not the old Microsoft anymore. One area that's really been quite competitive, of course, is the meeting space. And if you're an organization that uses Microsoft 365, generally you're using Microsoft Teams for your online meetings, but you probably also have chosen a few other platforms to support. Daniel and I are consultants, and so we often have to meet with our clients on their chosen platform. So we have to have all sorts of clients installed and be prepared to join meetings from within browsers to be able to support their chosen platform. It's just a courtesy, isn't it? Well, this is interesting, and it caused a stir because we can today set our environment so that we can add default online meeting details, this being Teams if you're using Teams. Quite useful. Means that I don't have to think about adding it, it's already done. And a good way to take it, a good way to approach it, because sometimes situations change, and when we plan to meet in person, we can't. More so than not today. We're meeting virtually anyway, so details are added automatically. Now, these third-party products are some familiar competitive ones: Zoom, Cisco WebEx, BlueJeans, GoToMeeting, etc. The list is there. And the way that it works is there are add-ins installed into Outlook which add these online meeting details. Great. That means that you can do that and you can trigger it off yourself. This feature means that if you as an individual have installed one of the add-ins, then it's going to become your default. If your admin has installed it for you, that becomes the default. And with the setting turned on in organizational configuration using PowerShell, then it will be, the online details will be added automatically. There is one other scenario though, Daniel, where if you're an individual that has installed multiple add-ins, then there isn't going to be default details added for you, because which one are you going to choose? There isn't a way to signal what will be the default of the multiple choices. But what's your feeling on this, Daniel? We see Teams and Skype. Skype is still being used. How about the support for multiple third parties?
Yeah, I understand it, but I'm still a little bit like, really? For the wars on this online meeting kind of environment where Microsoft really wants people using Teams, it is a little surprising. They're going to say, okay, if you want to use Google, go ahead. It's like, really? Okay. I mean, good for you, I guess, being open, but it seems like to me that, it's not something they needed to do here, but are going to go ahead and make it happen. Good for them to being a good player in the community, I guess, but it's still a little surprising.
Yeah, I would align it to when Teams supported or started to support third-party cloud storage providers, and they allowed things like Google Drive to be added to a team. But yeah, I think it's a good open way of saying, well, this is a choice that we recognise people will make. But when is this going to be available? It will be rolling out early April and expected to complete mid-June. Make sure that you've enabled that setting on your organizational config in PowerShell. And awesome. Daniel, fill us in on quick access.
Yeah, pin shared libraries to quick access. MC343795. What in the world's a shared library? So this is rolling out targeted release late March through mid-April, and then for standard mid-April through late April. So this starts off talking about adding the capability to pin shared libraries to the quick access section. And we've talked about the quick access section on OneDrive Web. So going there and getting access to your sites and such, SharePoint sites that you want to, your frequently used content. This is going to allow you to pin these shared libraries. What's a shared library?
What's a shared library, Daniel?
A shared library is simply just a document library.
Oh, is it? Okay.
So if you go down, so it starts off talking about shared libraries, and then if you go down in the messages and how this will affect your organization, it talks about document libraries. Oh, okay. So it just switches there for you. Yes, this is not the first, nor will it be the last time that document libraries, you'll see them called shared
Hey, check out
libraries.
Phil's comment. He just reminded me. Remember, there is a way to just add a library, which then creates the site in the background. So it's just another way of creating that space to work.
Yeah, so this is just when you see shared libraries, just know it means just document libraries. And so you're going to be able to pin those on a SharePoint site, be able to pin those in, and it'll show up in OneDrive, and you'll be able to unpin in that section, that quick access section as well. This does deserve a little bit of, I think, a communication to your users so they know that this is a capability. And they'll also, it may look a little different than what they've been using, right? For that section where you go and get that more places page, that, it just may look different for them. So I suggest you do have an update to your users in some way, just letting them know that this is arriving for them.
I'm looking forward to this for one reason. Sometimes the places that I frequent disappear off that list, and hang on, I usually go there. Can I have that place back so I can easily find it in quick access?
Right.
So good to see it pinned.
Yeah. So speaking of shared stuff, I don't know. I was trying to come up with a transition here, but speaking of casting, there we go.
Speaking of casting,
I don't.
you really cast it wide there to try and. Oh, yeah. Okay. Microsoft Teams casting from Teams desktop clients to Microsoft Teams rooms, MC 341571. If you are lucky enough to be an organization that uses Microsoft Teams rooms, wait, hang on. If you're lucky enough to be an organization that has provided the environment for you to be able to return to the office to use a meeting room, and it's using Microsoft Teams rooms, maybe you've seen and used this ability to pick up your phone, and from Teams you can cast content from your phone, your screen. And you just go into Teams, you can click that cast button. So that's been quite a handy thing to use if you're in a meeting room and you just want to show what's on your phone without having people crowd around your shoulder. This feature's coming now to the desktop version of Microsoft Teams. It will be similar kind of place in the desktop client. I wonder if do we have any... Yeah, we do. We've got a picture there. I could blow that up, but it'll take a bit longer. So it is sitting under... Okay, let's blow it up quickly. It's sitting out under your profile photo for some reason. Yeah, whoa, okay, bigger. Yeah, so you'll find it under there. I mean, I probably would have liked to have seen it in the share button because it's kind of part of sharing content. But that will allow you to cast. And the thing about this is it covers that scenario where if you have got a meeting but you're not necessarily meeting online and you haven't added online details, go back to our other message about adding details online. Sometimes you will go and find a room that's spare, and there are plenty of them at the moment as a lot of people still want to work from home. And you walk in and you want to be able to just have a discussion about something on your screen with the people in the room. That's casting. That's the reason for it. One question I have about this, Dan, I'll get your thoughts on this. Casting, and I forget what the behavior is. Do you think that it's just casting what's within the Teams app to the Microsoft Teams Room device? Or is it that it's just a quick way to leverage the Teams Room device in the room to cast whatever you've got on your screen?
Like Miracast.
Yeah, like Miracast.
I think it's just Teams. I believe.
Yeah.
We don't know, but I think it is just Teams doing that connection. And that's what I would like, to be honest. Now, some people will say, wait a minute, I may want to show other things, share my desktop. I get that. And so maybe that's what it is, but I think it is just Teams. Just like it is in a Chrome browser, right? And you do cast with a Chrome browser to a Chrome device that's plugged in. I'm thinking that's what it is, but maybe not.
Well, to make sure it works, you will have to have Bluetooth turned on and on your device, because the Teams Room panel uses Bluetooth as a beacon, and that advertises that this is available, so you can cast from the Teams desktop. This is rolling out mid-March, beginning to roll out mid-March, so not done-ish, happening-ish. We haven't used that one yet. Happening-ish, now-ish.
Happening-ish.
Expect to be complete by late April. Yes.
Awesome.
Insert clever segue here to your message. Go.
Share computer audio on web. MC343789. This is, when you are in a Teams meeting, you want to share content that is a video maybe, or an audio clip, and you want to share your audio. There's that selection in Teams when you're doing that. Well, now when you're in a meeting on the web using Microsoft Edge or Google Chrome, you'll be able to do that as well, not just the desktop app. So this will be rolling out early April, expected to be completed by late April. So it's simple. Here you go. That's what it is. You're going to have that capability on the web, which is awesome. I do have meetings sometimes that I join in the web just because it's easier. I'm logged in as someone, on another tenant or something, and, or I'm my demo tenant and in Teams. And so I need to go to company and get on the browser or something. So anyway, whatever parity we can get between the web and the desktop client, I'm all for.
Yeah, it's certainly a helpful thing, and I feel like it has been available in other types of platforms. Even this one, we're using Restream to bring content in from my desktop to show to you, and there's an option that says share the system audio, and so familiar kind of window. Good to see it come in Teams.
Yep.
Heidi says that this is certainly one thing that she didn't know she needed and is excited about it. It's funny when those sort of features are released, right, Heidi?
That's right.
Yeah. All right.
So I actually have the next one as well.
You do.
This is a kind of a quick mention, but I have a cute story about that. I don't know if I should say cute, but it's a funny story. Music on hold for one-to-one VoIP calls. MC343429. And this is what it says. When you have Teams will start playing hold music for you. And yes, I'm sure it's going to be that elevator, nondescript music, I'm pretty sure, when callers are on hold. And this will be rolling out late March, and it will be completed by early April. And so this is only available for one-to-one, those PSTN calls. I'm sorry, it's currently available for those calls. So there's going to be no impact for, the end user or anything. It'll just play when calls go on hold. And my funny story is I worked for an organization a long time ago, and I went into the server area, the telecom room actually. And, you got all the switches and stuff that were for the VoIP system back then. And there was a radio sitting on top of the shelf that had an auxiliary plug, and it was plugged into the system, and that was the hold music. So whatever radio station was playing, they had selected would play for the whole organization. The entire building was powered off of that one radio, and it was like just a radio with a big old antenna on it. And if you went and switched it, then you switched the music for everyone, which it did happen. I didn't do it, I promise.
No,
but
I believe
it did happen, and so it's kind of fun. So there's my fun story. That's not what this is. You're not going to be able to control the music using a radio.
But Daniel, the best part of the story was you said what music or type of station was chosen, and what it was
I think
to.
it was like light, easy listening is what it was before, and then someone went in there and changed it to like heavy rock, metal. It was kind of funny.
Your call is important to us.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, look, I don't think you can get away with that sort of thing these days too, because
No.
like radio and licensing and royalties and stuff, that's why people have got to get their own music.
Yep.
Sure. Finishing off with an interesting change to the Power Platform Admin Center. It gets a homepage. This is MC342090. What did you get today? You get to go to your environments. Yeah, I mean, that could be useful, but your environments probably don't change much. What will be happening is this homepage will be more in line with what you see for things like the SharePoint Admin Center, where you get cards that are useful to you. And the cards that will be available initially will be a Message Center card, which will wrap up or roll up the most recent Message Center messages related to Power Platform. And what we played around with it again yesterday just to remind ourselves, when you go into the SharePoint Admin Center, you can see that today. That's what it'll look like. It'll have like the last 4 or 5 messages. You can click on one of those 4 or 5 messages and it'll come across and you can have a look at it. So there you go, nice little overlap with the 365 Message Center show and being able to drill down and focus on admin messages for that. So you'll be able to do that with Power Platform, and when you click through and show more, then it'll take you through to that filtered view in the full Message Center that we all know and love here on this show.
That's right.
Service Health card. Daniel, this will be quite useful, won't it? So for someone who's responsible for the service health of Power Platform, they can just zero in and look at some of the what's happening in that space.
That's right, exactly. Filter by default.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And lastly, as a starter card, there'll be links to documents and training. But I expect that the space will continue to grow. Maybe you might see some things around performance. We can wonder. Maybe you can make some requests. We don't know if this homepage card will have something saying, give us feedback, but I'm pretty sure there will be something there to give feedback.
Right.
But this is going to be good for all those Power Platform admins that much more useful than landing on environments that probably don't change much.
That's right. So the home, a new admin page that will be actually useful.
Yeah, and will continue to grow.
That's right.
Well, that is it for messages. And I know, like, we did have a lot that were available for us to cover. Once we got them restored.
Yeah, but we covered the ones we felt like were important for you to hear. Of course, make sure you're reading all of the messages, especially remember those that are updated, making sure that those updates don't impact you and maybe impact the story that you've told your users. Maybe it is release date, but maybe it's functionality or maybe it's clarity in the message. Make sure you're reading those to see what those updates are. And of course, make sure you are following us on all the socials. We are 365MCS. Make sure that you go ahead and share, like right now. After you click the thumbs up button on this video or on this audio podcast, go ahead and click the share button as well and put it on Twitter or Facebook or Insta, or I'm just going to stop naming, but we're on all of them. Share those messages out. Make sure you tag us, 365MCS.
We're not on TikTok, Daniel. I mean, are you inspired to do like a short interpretive dance thing around what this Message Center message means? No?
Maybe if we get more subscribers, then that is something we will definitely look into. So, but you got to share it out to get us more subscribers. So,
TikTok. All right, thank you.
right.
We'll see you again for episode 324?
234.
234.
Yeah.
3, 2, 4, 4, 2, whatever. Okay, yes. Next time. See you next time.